Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Grace. I'm sorry if I sound a little different. I lost my voice. But today we're going to introduce a new segment, hopefully that will be in all of my videos, and I will call them one-biters. So it can be a quote, a interesting fact, a new food that I found, something tiny that I want to share. And so the first one of this new little segment that will be introduced in all of my videos is a quote from Hippocrates, which says, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." Hopefully you think about that and let that digest and take it as you wish. But we'll dive into more of today's topic, which might be a little bit slightly controversial in nature. The word has a lot of stigma around it, but we're going to just break it down, give you all of the facts you need to know, and you can take it from there. So without further ado, let's dive right into fats. So some basic information that we should set before we really get into it. Fats are a type of macronutrient. That took me a second. So fats are one of 3 macronutrients that the body needs to support all energy and life functions. The other 2 you might have heard of before are carbohydrates and proteins. But fats, also known as lipids, are equally, if not as important as the other 2. And there's a lot of stigma around, oh, we shouldn't be eating a lot of fat because that can get turned into adipose tissue, also known as fat. That is not the case. We all need healthy sources of fats in our diet to sustain life and to carry out all other metabolic processes in our body. And so we're going to dive into 3 different types of fats that we will see in our food. The first is good unsaturated fats, the second is bad trans fats, and the third is saturated fats. So the first, good unsaturated fats. They can be broken down into monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. In general, they're known to lower the risk of disease. So for example, foods that are high in these include vegetable oils such as olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fish. So you might have heard of omega-3, that is rich in many sources of fish. That is a great addition to your diet. Second is bad fats or trans fats. They increase the risk of disease even when you eat it in small quantities. So you might see a lot of trans fats in processed foods, meaning they have been cooked with hydrogenated oils. Now we'll talk about oils in a completely separate video just because there's a lot to unpack there and a lot of controversial things, but I think people are starting to realize this and trying to actively not use it as much. So for example, in like fried food, a lot of potatoes, fried french fries and fried chicken, they might be using these more not as great quality oils just to make a large quantity of food, and so that's why it can be problematic. And finally, we have saturated fats. Now these are not as bad as trans fats, but as always, they should be eaten in moderation. So foods that do have a lot of these saturated fats include red meats, butter, cheese, and ice cream, but there's always alternatives. You can maybe cut down on the red meat and just have it on special occasions, but otherwise eat a lot of lean meat. You can also replace your butter when you're cooking meat with oils. That is an easy replacement. And so there's a lot of ways that you can try to incorporate more healthy fats into your diet. These include eating more fish like salmon, adding an avocado to your salads or your rice bowls, or even just having more peanut butter and nut butters, depending on your allergies. There are many new alternatives that have been made, like cashew butter or almond butter, as well as the classic peanut butter. Side tangent on peanut butter. if you look at the back of a peanut butter and look at the ingredients, in a amazing case, there should only be one ingredient, and that should be the source of the nut. There's no need for a nut butter to have more than just a nut, because the nut will naturally produce oils when you blend it, which is exactly what peanut butter is, just blended peanuts. You do not need additional oil, you do not need sugar for sure. You can, I guess, add salt, so some might have like extra pink salt or like Himalayan salt to add to flavor and texture. That is okay, but otherwise there should only be the nut. And so I can show you the one currently that I am eating. This is the peanut butter from Trader Joe's. The ingredient, plain and simple, it says one ingredient: dry roasted peanuts. That is it. You do not need anything more. You will see that when you first get it, or over time, you might see a natural separation of oils on the top and then the rest of the nut butter on the bottom. That's normal, that's expected. It's kind of gross, I agree, but all you have to do is just give it a nice stir in, and then you can enjoy it with your piece of toast or whatever else you'd like to put it on. And so, hope that was engaging, insightful, and you learned something. And until next time, give it one bite.